If you've been playing Blooket lately, you've probably noticed a growing library of brand new games, both live and solo. But what you might not have noticed is we've also been adding an entirely new set of new settings and customization options, both for hosts before you start the game and for players during the game. Let's walk through all of these new host settings and player controls, including accessibility options, so you can get the most out of your next game. Let's start with the host settings. Like I said, this is for our new games and our updated legacy games, but if you're watching this a few months in the future, most of these things should be updated for all of them. Find a question set, click on host, and then click on one of the game modes. For this example, I'm going to be using laser tag since it contains a lot of the different settings and variables that would be found in other games. Select the game you want and click host. This will take you to the new and updated host settings screen. Depending on the game mode you're playing, you'll find a variety of adjustable settings, but laser tag includes nearly all of them. The first setting is the win condition. You can choose whether the game ends after a certain score goal is met or when the timer runs out. The default time and score are our suggestions, but you can of course adjust them as you need. And once the game starts, hosts can take even more control in time-based games, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. For games with an independent or team variation like laser tag, you have the option to choose whether participants compete solo or as teams. Just below that, you'll see an option for map sizing. For games where all players are competing on the screen together, you might see this setting. You can have a smaller map, which will bump up the player engagement and the question frequency. The next two settings are checkboxes, meaning you can either turn them on or off. The first is comeback scoring. This means when this is checked, players who are further behind will earn more points, giving them a better chance of catching up. This keeps games even more engaging for all students throughout the entire game, even those who might not be as fast or have the best dexterity. Next is the show answer correctness option. This lets you decide whether students will see the correct answer after getting one incorrect. Leave it checked if you want that instant feedback, and leave it unchecked to keep that correct answer hidden for a more challenging experience. Then there's the time penalty for incorrect answers. You can set this from anywhere between 3 to 15 seconds. Some teachers like using this longer penalty to encourage slower, more thoughtful answers and reduce random guessing. But this would be a great setting to adjust as students play the same set leading up to an assessment. Maybe you want to keep it as a low penalty when they are first introduced to the content and then bump it up as you've played it a few more times. Next up is question ordering. This lets you control whether questions appear in the exact same order as they do in your set, or if they're shuffled randomly for each player. Having them ordered is great if you want all the students to see all of the same questions in the same order. Late joining lets you decide whether new players can join and enter the game after it's already started. This is a great setting for larger classes that might take more time for students to join, virtual schools, or maybe even unreliable connections where students might need to reconnect or be joining later from a different device. Next is the use random names option. By default, students can type in their own nicknames, but enabling this feature gives each player up to 5 randomized name options to choose from. This can save time at the start of class or help maintain anonymity. Pro tip, if you randomize names, some teachers find it helpful to walk around the classroom when the game is going to take note of certain students' names so you can associate them after the game. You'll also see a mute player sounds option. If you're in a quiet classroom or simply want to reduce distraction, you can mute all in-game sounds for every player before the game even starts. Students will also have control and the ability to adjust their volume on their own devices. So you can always leave this unchecked and leave it up to them to adjust it according to their preference. I'll talk more about this at the end of the video. Then there's the allow student accounts option. Students always have the ability to join a live game whether they have an account or not. But enabling this option allows those with accounts who are logged in to earn XP and tokens that they can then use to collect Blooks or other things within the marketplace. This is great for encouraging ongoing participation and reward. And finally, banned Blooks. This lets you control what your students can and cannot use during the game. Click on the button and then select the Blooks that you want to disable. They'll turn slightly transparent if they're disabled, and you can click on them again to re-enable them. When you're happy with your choices, then click the Save button. This can help keep gameplay consistent or themed for a particular class or event. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, once the game begins, players also have their own set of controls, and they're accessible by clicking on the gear icon in the top right-hand corner of their screen. Here, students can adjust volume or even sound effects oftentimes if it's applicable to that game. They can also find several accessibility options below that, including large text, high contrast mode, and read aloud, which reads each of the questions and answers aloud automatically. When students change or adjust these options, those settings will be saved and remain active for the rest of the game. Now, exiting that settings menu, you can also click on the leaderboard icon here to display the leaderboard at that time. You can also toggle this on and off by holding the tab key. This is helpful as students are competing for that top spot. Teachers, you also get a few new tools during live gameplay. You'll still see the leaderboard and player activity in real time on the host screen, but you'll also find a new clock icon in the top right corner. Click on it to add time to a time-based game in 1-minute increments. This allows you to extend game without starting a brand new one. And of course, you can always end the game early at any time by clicking on that checkered flag and confirming your choice. These updates give you and students more flexibility, accessibility, and control, making it easier to focus on learning while keeping games fun and manageable. Now, if you'd like to learn more about hosting live games, click on this playlist right here where you'll learn more about that. And if you want to learn more about solo games, watch this video over here. And of course, to explore all of Blooket's latest game modes, including an overview and detailed videos about most of our games, check out this playlist. Either way, we'll see you in one of the next videos.